Well, here we are. I'm Aaron Gentile from Eagle News. I'm online in a Zoom chat with my buddy Josh McBeath, who is a high school teacher, math teacher at Life Christian Academy. Love working with you, Josh, and I want to congratulate you on receiving the Hero Teacher nomination for high school. Really proud of you and proud of the work that you're doing. So tell me what you're doing to help students make that transition to e-learning.
Well, I think there's really two things that I've just tried to focus on as we transition to this. And the first of the two is just trying to connect. It's not about getting the assignment in necessarily. It's not about learning the material necessarily. It's to make sure that the kids still know that they are the most valuable part of our school.
Yeah.
And then the second part is I want them to feel a part of this. And so I've been really proactive in making sure that they have a voice. I'll do surveys, check-ins, and then I'll also do anonymous surveys from time to time, just to make sure that they know that they're heard. And I'll read back to them what I'm reading, just so they can actively see that, hey, you got a voice in this. You're a part of this process, and you're our priority.
That's perfect. It sounds like you're trying to remind them in a world that's gone online and everything becomes digital, you're trying to remind them that there's still a human element, that you're still connected. And I appreciate the work that you've done in that. So thank you for that one. Let me ask another quick question here as we roll through just learning about this process and how we're engaging students and helping them learn. What tips do you have for students, either at LCA or anybody that's watching this? What tips do you have for students who are trying to adjust to this new learning environment?
I from a teacher, I want to first just say that as you adjust to this, know that myself and from what our teachers I've heard, that we understand that this is a transition, that we aren't holding you to perfection. We're just holding you to just progress in some level. Going into this, you guys are learning a life skill right now. You're learning ownership. You're learning how to manage yourself, which is a lifelong lesson that not everybody learns. Just because you grow up doesn't mean you learn this. And so when learning how to manage yourself, if I could just advise anything, is start your day off with just a few minutes to maybe just write in, okay, this is what I need to do today. Instead of flying by the hip and just looking at websites, write it down and keep it simple. Whether it be some of you who like to do it out for a week, or some of you like to do that for the day, or even just a small piece of it, just take some step in planning ahead. Because if you're just going to base your decisions on reaction, if you're just going to be like, oh, I got to do this, let's do it now, you're not setting yourself up for success. Yeah, you got to plan for success. It doesn't just happen.
That's perfect. I love that idea of this, that students are learning a life skill right now as they transition. And one of the greatest life skills you can have is that proactive and planning. So great tip there. How about this one? How are you keeping a focus on learning rather than just having students complete work? Because that's a challenge when you're in this environment.
Oh, yes. This is an active and ongoing conversation. So I can, my best answer is still up for critique here. But right now, for example, we just had our algebra class. One of my favorite units is we're talking about exponents and compound interest. And what I did is I gave them a couple.
Awesome, everybody. Exponents and compound interest.
Yes,
Not a lot of people say this is my favorite subject or favorite content.
When it comes to investments and making money and understanding debt, it is, I think, very interesting.
It's
and so but what I did is I've been trying to give the kids floor assignments instead of ceiling assignments. So for example, getting facts right, or filling out a crossword or something like that. I think that's a ceiling assignment, because once you're done, you're done. But a floor assignment is okay, here is your start. What do you think? No rubric, nothing like that. What do you think? And so one of the assignments we did this week was I gave them an S&P 500, stocks, a bonds, and an index fund. And I said, hey, what do you think? What happens here? Low risk, high risk. And it just used plugging in some equations. And I had kids go from researching what the history were of those to understanding how to present that analysis, to some kids got really into the character of who they were and pretended they were on a yacht. I mean, there was just a lot of variety to it. So it's always a challenge because I was brought up in a system that was curriculum based. And so learning to be creative is a challenge. But right now I found that creativity in any level has really been what promotes learning. this environment.
That's huge. Yeah, so true. I hope it doesn't surprise you to know that I've actually heard quite a few of the presentations that came out of that assignment, seeing as my daughter is part of that class. She's
Yeah.
highly engaged in the assignment and loves sharing with me some of the best presentations that came out of it. So well done. I agree.
They're hilarious.
The challenge in this environment where we're shifting from a classroom traditional to an online platform, it's real easy as a teacher to think, I just want to give them tasks so that when they get the task done, they can cross it off and I can give them a grade. But that doesn't necessarily equate to deep learning. And I appreciate, and that's, again, another reason why you're in that hero category. You're going deeper with students and helping them to think about mathematics, not just solve problems. So well done, Josh. One more question for you as we wrap this up. As you're trying to help these students focus and you're trying to help teachers focus, what kind of tips would you give to teachers who I know are all learning this new thing and they're all trying to figure everything out one day at a time? What kind of tips would you give for your colleagues?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm in the same boat, I just did some deep YouTube work before all this started. I would say start small, just pick one thing and see if it works. Let the kids know that you're trying something new and it actually might be more valuable if it didn't work out, just because it's good for kids to see us not get it all right. And just have fun, like just be yourself, have fun. Don't take yourself too serious if you make a mistake. Those have been kind of my 3 mantras: start small, see if it works. If it makes a mistake, tell the kids, hey, we're doing this together.
Fantastic. I love that. And again, it brings the human side of it right into that online environment. Some of the videos I've created, I find myself stuttering or saying something wrong. And I'm like, I just want to record the whole thing over.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. I don't have to be perfect. I'm still a human. And I'm just trying to work on this art of communication and teaching through a brand new platform, because I certainly wouldn't record myself and then replay myself in a classroom when I'm teaching live. No, I make mistakes when I'm teaching live too.
Right.
So that's great, Josh. Again, I appreciate your time tonight. You're a hero teacher. You're creative. You're courageous, and you're so kind to these kids, and I appreciate that. So way to go, Mr. McBeath. Congratulations to you.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. I really appreciate it.